The wild honey hunters, guardians of tradition and nature. Deep within the forests, where sunlight filters through ancient canopies and the sound of insects fills the air, there exists a profession that is as old as human civilization itself, the hunting of wild honey. Unlike modern beekeeping, wild honey hunting is not about domestication or controlled environments. It is about venturing into dangerous, untamed landscapes, locating colonies of giant bees, and harvesting the golden nectar that has nourished both body and spirit for countless generations. The honey hunters are more than just gatherers of food, they are storytellers, cultural guardians, and skilled adventurers who embody humanity's intimate relationship with the natural world. This essay explores the fascinating life of wild honey hunters, examining their history, skills, struggles, cultural significance, and their uncertain future in an age of environmental change. History and origins. Wild honey hunting is one of humanity's oldest food-gathering practices. Archaeological evidence suggests that humans have been collecting honey for at least 8,000 years. Ancient rock paintings found in Spain's Cuevas de la Arana depict figures climbing vines and ladders to reach bee nests, with swarms of insects buzzing around them. Across Asia, Africa, and South America, similar traditions have endured for millennia. In Southeast Asia, particularly in countries like Vietnam, Nepal, and India, wild honey hunting became deeply rooted in local traditions. Indigenous groups developed unique techniques to track giant honeybees such as Apis dorsata and Apis laboriosa, which often build their hives on towering cliffs or high tree branches. For these communities, honey was not merely a source of sweetness but also a medicinal elixir, a sacred offering, and a vital trade commodity. From prehistoric tribes to ancient civilizations, honey played multiple roles as food, medicine, spiritual symbol, and even currency. Honey hunters, therefore, were not simply workers, they were essential figures in sustaining communal life. Skills and techniques. The craft of wild honey hunting demands extraordinary courage, knowledge, and physical endurance. Unlike domestic beekeepers who use protective suits and smoke machines, wild honey hunters often rely only on traditional tools and their deep understanding of bee behavior. The first skill lies in tracking. Hunters read the forest like a book, observing flight patterns of bees, listening for the faint hum of a colony, and studying seasonal changes that indicate where hives are most likely to appear. Their eyes are trained to spot glimmers of honeycomb high above the ground. Once a hive is located, the real challenge begins. If the hive is in a tall tree, hunters must climb using ropes made from forest vines or bamboo ladders crafted on the spot. If the hive is on a cliff face, as in Nepal, hunters dangle from hand-woven rope ladders hundreds of meters above the ground. The sight is breathtaking and terrifying, a lone figure suspended in midair, surrounded by thousands of furious bees, wielding nothing but a smoking torch to drive them away. The actual harvesting requires precision. The hunters cut pieces of honeycomb, separating sections filled with brood, larvae, from those rich in golden nectar. Every motion is deliberate. Too much disturbance and the bees may attack in a deadly swarm. Or the hunter could lose balance and fall. Back on the ground, the honeycomb is collected in baskets. It is then shared among the community, eaten fresh, or preserved for trade. Nothing is wasted. Honey, wax, pollen, and even bee larvae are considered valuable resources. Risks and challenges. The dangers of honey hunting are legendary. Bee stings are only the beginning. A single giant honeybee sting can cause excruciating pain. Dozens of stings can lead to allergic shock or even death. Hunters often return from expeditions with swollen faces, bleeding cuts, and burns from their smoky torches. But the greater danger lies in the heights. Climbing cliffs and tall trees without modern safety equipment means every step is a gamble. Many hunters recount stories of comrades who fell to their deaths while suspended on fragile rope ladders. Beyond physical risks, there are also environmental challenges. Deforestation, climate change, and the decline of bee populations threaten the survival of both bees and hunters. As forests shrink, hives become rarer, forcing hunters to travel further into dangerous terrain for smaller harvests. Cultural and spiritual values. For many communities, wild honey hunting is not merely an occupation but a sacred tradition. In Nepal, the Gurung people perform elaborate rituals before each expedition, offering prayers to forest spirits and seeking protection from ancestors. Honey is often dedicated to deities or used in healing ceremonies. In Vietnam's Central Highlands, honey hunting is woven into the fabric of ethnic minority cultures. Songs, myths, and folktales recount the bravery of hunters who faced swarms of bees and returned with sweet rewards for their village. The act of honey hunting symbolizes courage, unity, and harmony with nature. These cultural practices ensure that honey hunting is passed down from father to son. From generation to generation, It is not only about survival but also about preserving identity and respect for the natural world. Economic importance. While honey hunting is steeped in tradition, it also holds economic value. Wild honey is prized for its unique taste, medicinal properties, and purity. Unlike farmed honey, it carries the essence of untouched forests and rare blossoms. As a result, it often fetches a high price in local and international markets. In many rural areas, selling wild honey provides essential income. Families use the money for food, education, and healthcare. However, the commercialization of wild honey has also raised ethical questions. Overharvesting and exploitation by outside traders can endanger both bees and hunters. Striking a balance between economic survival and ecological sustainability is an ongoing challenge. Environmental connections. Honey hunters are deeply connected to their environment. Their livelihood depends entirely on the health of forests and the abundance of bees. Unlike industrial exploitation, traditional honey hunting often respects natural cycles. Many hunters deliberately leave portions of the hive untouched to allow bees to rebuild. Bees themselves are crucial pollinators, ensuring the survival of countless plant species. By protecting bees, hunters indirectly safeguard biodiversity, yet the pressures of deforestation, pesticides, and climate change threaten to unravel this delicate balance. The fate of honey hunters is intertwined with the fate of the forest. Stories and real-life experiences. The most vivid understanding of honey hunting comes from the stories of the hunters themselves. In Nepal, a hunter named Kul Bahadur was once photographed dangling from a cliff as giant bees swarmed around him. Despite being stung dozens of times, he calmly continued cutting honeycomb, guided by knowledge passed down from his father and grandfather. In Vietnam, elderly hunters recount nights spent deep in the jungle, waiting for the moonlight to fade so they could climb trees under the cover of darkness when bees are less aggressive. For them, the buzzing of bees is not just noise but a language, a warning, a rhythm, a reminder of nature's power.
Let's go!
Each story speaks to resilience, bravery, and an enduring bond with the natural world. Modern changes and future outlook. The future of wild honey hunting is uncertain. On one hand, documentaries and tourism have brought global attention to the practice, celebrating its uniqueness and supporting conservation. On the other hand, modernization, deforestation, and economic pressures threaten to erase these traditions. Younger generations, lured by urban opportunities, may abandon honey hunting altogether. Without apprentices, centuries of knowledge risk being lost. Some communities have begun integrating eco-tourism and sustainable beekeeping as alternatives, blending tradition with modern livelihood. Ultimately, the survival of honey hunting depends on balancing cultural preservation, economic need, and environmental stewardship. If protected, this tradition can continue to inspire awe and respect for generations to come. Conclusion. The honey hunters of the world, whether in Asia, Africa, or South America, are more than laborers. They are custodians of ancient wisdom, practitioners of extraordinary skill, and symbols of humanity's enduring connection to nature. Their work is dangerous, exhausting, and often underappreciated, yet it carries profound cultural, economic, and ecological significance. In every drop of wild honey lies a story, of daring climbs, of buzzing swarms, of ancestral prayers whispered into the wind. To honor honey hunters is to honor the resilience of human tradition and the fragile beauty of the natural world. As forests shrink and bees decline, their future remains precarious, but so long as honey hunters endure, they remind us of a truth as sweet and enduring as honey itself, that survival, culture, and nature are inseparably linked.